I'd like to warmly introduce to you Catherine, who's been a participant in one of our studies, the Active Women Over 50 study. So welcome, Catherine.
Hi, Geraldine.
Thank you for coming today. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about being active. How do you stay active?
Well, at the moment during lockdown, it's very hard. It's something that you really have to make a conscious decision to do. And I have a dog. I have a chocolate Labrador, and I take him out every day. So my routine generally consists of activity every day. So I like to run. I'm a bit of a runner, so I run at the moment 3 days a week. Yep. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, generally, I run for about 5Ks. And then the other days, I take Eddie out for a walk. And I like to walk for about at least half an hour. The longer, the better. Because otherwise, you just sit at this on the Zoom screen talking at work, and the day goes by and you stand up at the end of the day having done nothing. So I always make sure I do my activity first thing in the morning when I get up, and it sets you up for the day. You get out into nature, the sun is shining generally, and that's what gets me through lockdown.
Fantastic. It sounds like as though just having some sort of routine seems to work for you. So how do you feel when you are physically active? What sort of benefits do you find?
There's nothing but benefits to being physically active. I've found I haven't always been physically active. I've only sort of discovered it, I guess, in the last couple of years. But everything about my health is now improved since I have become more active. My kids are telling me I'm looking younger, which is fantastic. Who doesn't want to hear that from their kids? But just being able to, I mean, I go running with my daughter who's 22, and just being able to do that with her is so great. Looking forward to when I have grandkids, I can run after them, and there's no downsides to being active. I was on blood pressure medication. I've been on that for about 10 years. That has reduced now to the lowest level that they can possibly give me. I tried coming off it, but not quite off it yet. But so health-wise, my doctor is very impressed with me. My family is very impressed with me. But more importantly, I'm happy with myself, and that is something that I've struggled with for a long, long time. But I think I'm there now, and I'm generally in a pretty good space.
That's so wonderful to hear, Catherine, all these different benefits that you've found. So you said that you hadn't always been active. So what inspired you?
Well, a few things, actually. So getting to the age of 50, you start to think about your own mortality a little bit more, I think. And I was always overweight most of my adult life. I've got 4 kids. My last 2 kids were twins. So, I had a bit of a challenge there with my weight. And I saw the university was running this program for active women over 50, and I thought, do it. I really want to do it. And I came along to one of your presentations, and at that you ran a video about a woman who'd joined a running club, and I thought, I've always wanted to run, but being so overweight, I thought there's no way I could ever do it. And shortly after that, one of my best friends, who was just as heavy as me at the time, told me she was about to have gastric band surgery. And I was quite shocked. And I was thinking, why would you do that to yourself? And then with the next thought, I thought, well, I don't want to be the fat one in the relationship here. So I was kind of inspired by her weight loss journey, but I didn't want to go to the extremes of having any kind of surgery. So I actually went and had hypnotherapy. And I had one session of hypnotherapy for weight loss purposes. And I'd never looked back, to be honest. It's no magic bullet. It's not for everyone, but it simply puts you in the right mindset that you can do it. And diet and exercise is what did it for me. I was able to say no. I was able to make healthy choices. And it took me probably about 1.5 years to lose 30 kilos, which was, a good time frame. But and during that journey is when I started running. I've always remembered that video that I saw during one of your presentations, the woman in the running club. And I live reasonably close to the national park, so I do trail running. I don't like to run on the streets. I still don't like people watching me run, but I go into the park, and coming from the northeast of Scotland, you can probably tell by my accent, nature is my happy place. So I go into the woods, as I call it, the bush as the Aussies call it, and I run along the trails, taking the dog with me, and yeah, that sets me up for the day. So I started doing that. I meant to mention what inspired me also was the Couch to 5K app. I was listening to somebody on the radio who was talking about it because, again, I wanted to run but didn't know how on earth to start. And then I heard someone talking about Couch to 5K, and I thought, oh, that sounds as if something that I could do. So that's how I did it. That's how I got there from 0 to 5K. I think the most I've run is probably about 8K, but I've done a couple of colour runs now, and I don't think I'll ever do a marathon, but I'll maybe go up to 10K. That's maybe a challenge to set myself. But yeah, that's probably my journey.
What a wonderful story, Catherine. Congratulations. There sounds like as though there have been lots of triggers along the way to help you. So thanks so much for sharing your story. Just lastly, what helps you keep going?
Probably the dog. Probably the dog. Every morning, because I'm into such a routine now, he looks at me with those big brown eyes, and you've got to go out. But I've referred to nature quite a lot, and that really is my happy place. And you get out there into the woods, no matter what your day holds in front of you. You just take that time for yourself and time to breathe, and it sets you up for the day. And I feel like I'm in the best shape that I've probably been in most of my life. And at the age of 56, I've just had a birthday last week, so I'm now 56, and I'm thinking, bring it on. My kids are now at the point where I'm going to have grandchildren soon, and I'm looking forward to it and being fit and active and healthy along the way.
Fantastic. So wonderful to hear your story, Catherine, and how you've been inspired by others as well. So thank you for sharing your story, and I hope that inspires others to be physically active too.
Thanks, Geraldine.